What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. In today's episode we have a very special watch in the house, and that is none other than Cartier Santos. I want to say a quick thank you to the gentleman that made this video possible by giving me the watch to review it for you. I was extremely excited, and I am here to tell you that it will be very hard to give it back to him. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the specs of the watch. We're going to be talking about why I think this watch is one of the best watches that money can buy out there, and also why I think that it's better than Rolex. And if you're considering to buy a Rolex, you should maybe just stop, look at the Santos, and pull the trigger. Often when we think of aviation watches, we don't normally think of square, elegant, complication-free. We think more round, we think bigger size, probably 43, 45 millimeters. We think more complicated. These are some of the things that we look at. But many of you don't know, but the Cartier Santos is going down in history as the very first aviation watch. And you might be thinking, what? How is that even possible? But the story says that at the beginning of the 20th century, the Brazilian aviator Alberto Santos Dumont met with Louis Cartier in Paris, and he has requested him to make him a wristwatch because as a pilot, it will eliminate his risk of checking the pocket watch while flying. And that was basically the birth of Cartier Santos, or back in the day was called Santos de Cartier. In 1904, the watch was given to Alberto Santos Dumont, but the watch was first introduced to the world in 1911. While wristwatches were not a thing back then, and they were not fashionable for men, the moment that Alberto Santos Dumont started wearing the watch, it really started to turn heads, and a lot of the men were considering to getting this watch, mainly because of its functionality and its pronounced Roman numerals hour markers. Fast forward to 2018, Cartier has launched two size variations, medium and large. Currently, I wear the large on my wrist, which is 39.8 millimeters case diameter, but most sources will say that it's 40 millimeters. The watch is also only 9.08 millimeters of thickness, which makes this watch ultra thin and a great daily wearer. The watch is available in steel, yellow gold, pink gold, and two-tone stainless steel with yellow gold. Currently, we have in the house a stainless steel case with stainless steel bracelet with a sapphire crystal and 100 meters of water resistance. The watch that I have on my wrist also has a date complication that is located at 6 o'clock. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it looks perfect and it's very well balanced. But I've looked at the Santos without the date and it looks equally as fine and beautiful. And for me, it would not be a deal breaker if I find it at a good deal. So whether it has a date or not, I would take it. They also has introduced and given to us a skeletonized model, because skeleton watches have been something in trend in the last late years. It's not something that I'm gonna go and talk about because I personally don't like skeletonized watches, but this is now why we're here. The reason why we're mainly here is because about 2 years ago is when I decided to completely remove Rolex out of the picture. And when I did that, I've discovered that there were some watches that have been completely overshadowed by Rolex that were equally as good, if not better. But most importantly, they were accessible, such as Cartier Santos. It was about 2 years ago when Rolex started to piss me off with their new releases with two-tone Explorer, which I do like the watch, but I just don't think we need an Explorer that is two-tone. Or the watch that they've released last year. There has been just a few models and a few releases that started to really annoy me, and one of the other reasons was also the wait lists that have been and gone absolutely insane. People have been saving a lot of their money for something that, or for a brand that clearly doesn't give a crap about them, and only gives a crap about their image, about their marketing, about them being as exclusive as possible. I am not the type of person to do butt kissing to dealers, so then I started to look for other watches that are available that would cost somewhat at the same price point as an entry-level Rolex, but would be accessible, that you could go into a store, try it on, love it, and buy it. And Cartier Santos was one of them. Also, the other things that I've considered was definitely the rich history. Cartier Santos is very old, and Cartier in general has been making watches since 1847, and that very well can compete with Rolex. Probably the most important part of the Cartier Santos, and the reason why I decided to get it, is obviously the design, the rectangular shape. I know that in pictures For some people it might look uncomfortable, but clearly for me that was not the reason. I have looked at pictures and I found this watch comfortable just by looking at other people wearing it. Somehow the case, somehow the bracelet just looked extremely comfortable to me, and when I tried it on for the very first time, I was in love. It just felt amazing. It was heavy enough to feel it on the wrist, but not heavy enough to make your wrist hurt. It just had a different presence, and that was something that I didn't even think that it could be possible with a rectangular watch from a jewelry maker, basically. Cartier Santos has 100 meters of water resistance, and sure, I understand that it might not be as good as an entry-level Rolex's, such as the Oyster Perpetual, or maybe let's even talk about a Submariner. Those watches tend to be more tool-ish. Those watches tend to be more capable, have a screw-down crown. Cartier Santos does not have a screw-down crown and only 100 meters of water resistance. And while this watch tends to lean more towards the elegant side of the watch spectrum, I think this watch can be very well worn, basically anywhere, with any outfit, do anything type deal. Cartier Santos currently retails at about $9,700 for the 40mm stainless steel and $8,900 for the 35mm stainless steel watch on the Berks website here in Canada. You also get a complimentary leather strap with any stainless steel that you get, or any Cartier Santos that you get, which is great. I've been preaching that in every video that I have posted on YouTube, and I will be continuing to do so until every watch brand is giving us a complimentary leather strap, metal strap, NATO strap, regardless, I don't care. Until they all do it, that is when I'll stop. One thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that rectangular watches tend to fit bigger than round watches. So if you compare a 40mm round watch and a 40mm rectangular watch, the rectangular would fit slightly bigger. I have a 7-inch wrist and the 40mm looks absolutely fine. Although I don't prefer bigger watches, I will always go with a smaller version if possible. Somehow, somewhat, this 40mm Santos, I can pull it off just amazing. But I would encourage you guys to go in store, try them both, and decide for yourself. Also, let me know what you guys think of the watch. Let me know what you guys think of this whole more and more people trying to get away from Rolex and buy a real watch, a watch that is actually available, a watch that is just as capable, just as, maybe rich in history, that is going to be just better than waiting for years in a row for a Rolex. I don't know, I've lost faith in Rolex, and although this is a review of Cartier Santos, this is mainly what's been fueling my desire to try a different watch. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the video, comment down below, let me know what you think of the watch, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.